Sure, it shows a compromise, and that does help the future of the Republican Party. But while we talk about that, let's talk about the future of the Democratic Party. And as Americans, we might have already seen it last night on 60 Minutes. Take a look.
I have to ask you, what's the date of expiration on this endorsement?
Oh, Steve,
No, I have to ask that question. I mean, come on. You're sitting here together. Everybody in town is talking about it already, and this is taking place.
You know, Steve, I got to tell you, you guys in the press are incorrigible. It was literally inaugurated 4 days ago.
Right.
And you're talking about elections 4 years from now.
All right, so we're incorrigible, but they agreed to sit down to this interview. Karen, I think for a lot of people looking at this, they see this as almost an anointed successor route here for Hillary Clinton. However, there's 4 years, and Joe Biden is the vice president, so there's a lot of time and space in between now and 2016.
Are we really going to spend all this time between now and 2016 talking about Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton? As the president said, it is incorrigible.
We got to do something, Karen.
I mean, can we go back to talking about immigration reform and how good that actually is for the country and its good
We can do that too.
Here's what I would say, though. Actually, I have a different take on this, and the fascination with all things Hillary Clinton is something obviously that over the 20 years I've been in politics I have observed up close and in person. But I think this to me was more about. There's also a fascination, I think, about the nature of the relationship between two people who had a really fierce competition against one another, but then found a way to come together and work for the good of the country. I think this interview and the two of them sitting down was as much about that as anything else. And I hope as a country we can focus on that. And the speculation about whether or not this is an endorsement or not, I mean, I think some of that's a little bit silly right now, because I can tell you that every prediction that was made at this point in time prior to 2012 or the 2008 election were completely wrong. So,
all right, so you set me up really well, though, to talk about how things have changed and that they do consider each other to be friends. Take a listen.
I consider Hillary a strong friend.
Yeah. I mean, very warm, close. I think there's a sense of understanding that, sometimes doesn't even take words.
Friendships involve a sense of trust and being in the foxhole together, and that emerged during the course of months when we were making some very tough decisions.
Alice, after watching this, is Hillary the GOP's biggest nightmare?
Well, look, she would be certainly a tough contender. But what I got out of this interview was a 30-minute commercial for Hillary Clinton. The only thing missing was a disclaimer that said Hillary for President 2016. But, I mean, I don't fault the President or Secretary Clinton. They got a love fest on 60 Minutes. But the only thing, if I were Joe Biden, I would be, where's the love for me? But it was an interview that was more of a personal interview. I personally wish it was more on policy. When Steve Croft had the opportunity to follow up on the president claiming that they've dismantled al-Qaeda, he quickly turns to whether or not he's going to endorse Hillary Clinton. But I mean, it was a nice personal interview, but it was very lacking in substance, and I think it was a win-win for Hillary Clinton and the president, certainly.
David,
let's not forget that Joe Biden appears with the president all the time. It's not like he doesn't get public appearance time with the president.
Look,
David, last word to you.
There's no way. Yeah, look, I'll take everything that the President and the Secretary of State said at face value, but let me add this. There's no way a President of the United States gives up all of this screen time, this important 60-minute screen time, and shares it if there's not some underlying motive behind it. It just doesn't happen by the very nature of the presidency. And second of all, the President owes the Clintons a lot, and the reason is Bill Clinton throughout the 2012 campaign, and Hillary Clinton was collecting the check.
Power. No, Karen, we gotta leave the last word there. You gotta be faster, Karen. You gotta be faster for me. Our political power panel today: David Drucker, Karen Finney, and Alice Short. I'm only being yelled at.